to Judgment Hall, trying to find something to send him to the cross. They beat him. And they beat him all because somebody said that he's the king of the Jews. They were afraid of losing their own position. So they mocked him and they beat him. Even in the text, while hanging on the cross, he had to endure insults from the crowd. For some, perhaps some of the insults that came from one that benefited from one of the Master's miracles. The insults could have come from one that had been sick and received the sight of getting well. Am I right about it? Oh yeah, there could have been one mocking him that knew of Jesus' divine power. They had experienced his divine power. But they mocked him and said, "You healed others. Now you ought to heal yourself if you be the chosen one." But Jesus just cried out, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." I'm glad Jesus had a sense of forgiveness. You see, forgiveness meant a pardon for me. It meant that he was dying in my stead. It should have been me hanging on that cross. But he hung there so that I could be set free. His forgiveness pardoned me from the taint of sin. His forgiveness pardoned mankind from the sentence of death placed on his life. After Adam and Eve had fallen from their perfect state, they were condemned, and they were condemned to die an eternal death. But the forgiveness of Christ at the cross pardoned man from eternal death. Because of him asking the Father in heaven to forgive, I now have remission from my sin. I know that this body will sleep in the grave one day, but I also know that I will live again. Because Jesus had a sense of forgiveness, I will be able to live with him in eternity. I will live in foreverness. That's good news. Am I right about it? Those of us that die in the Lord will rise to be with him in his eternal glory. Because he died, I can live forever. It was at the cross where he secured salvation for me. It was at the cross that he begged the Father to forgive them, for they know not what they do. And because he had a heart of forgiveness, some glad morning, I'll live again. The crowd mocked him and said, "He saved others, why don't you save yourself?" The thief on the cross said to him, "You ought to save yourself and then save us." And I'm glad that he stayed there on that cross. I'm glad that he died for me. If he had not died, I wouldn't have a chance at eternal life. If he had not sacrificed his life, I could not sacrifice enough animals to atone for my sin. But I can shout because dying is not the end. I can shout because some glad morning I know they'll lay me down in a grave. But I know that some glad morning I'll get up again. Ain't that good news? And Jesus hung on the cross for you and I. He hung there from the 6th to the 9th hour. And they tell me Nicodemus came and took him down and laid him in a borrowed tomb. He laid there all Friday night, laid there all Saturday night. But early on Sunday morning, the Bible tells me he got up. And I'm so glad that he got up. If he had not got up, he would be no better than Aristotle. If he had not got up, be no better than Allah. But I'm so glad he got up with all power of heaven and earth in his hand. And some glad morning, he's coming back again. I don't know about you, but I want to be ready when he comes back. Every day of my life, I'm trying to get ready. When you see me walking right, I'm trying to get ready. When you see me trying to live right, I'm trying to get ready. Because he's coming back again. He's coming back again. I'm glad that on that cross that day, he said, Father, forgive them. For they know not what they do. They didn't know what they were doing. They thought they knew what they were doing, but they did not know. There might be somebody here today. There might be somebody here today that want to take on Jesus. Perhaps you took Jesus and you felt like